The wallpaper on his phone is himself. Love for luxury goods, especially expensive gifts like an airplane. A passion for fast food and watching TV instead of reading daily presidential briefings. NBC News reports he'll now receive video briefings focused on the economic and trade issues he finds most interesting. The most eccentric president of the United States turns 79 years old. What is worth knowing about Donald Trump? The 45th and 47th U.S. president is known for his controversial nature. Elon Musk accuses Trump of involvement in the Epstein case, related to pimping and sex trafficking of minors. In 2007, Epstein made a deal with investigators and served only 13 months, while the details of the investigation were never disclosed. After a 2018 investigation by the Miami Herald and new court rulings in 2019, Epstein was arrested again. He subsequently died in prison by suicide in August of that year. Elon Musk stated on the social network X that the investigation documents remain undisclosed precisely because of Trump's involvement in the Epstein case. This is a serious accusation for Trump, already known for criminal cases, yet he became the first U.S. president with a criminal record. The first is a $130,000 payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election to cover up their affair. Trump's lawyer paid using campaign money. And for that, Trump was found guilty in 2024, but the sentencing was postponed due to presidential immunity. The second case involves Trump illegally taking classified documents from the White House to his Mar-a-Lago estate. He showed secret military operation plans to guests, boasting about his power. The third case is the accusation of inciting the storming of the Capitol on January 6, 2021, following what Trump claimed were falsified election results in favor of Joe Biden. The fourth case involves interference in Georgia's 2020 election, where Trump pressured officials to find votes to overturn results. He denies everything, but despite ample evidence, the November 2024 election victory halted most investigations. And now, especially amid society's divided reaction to Trump's time in power, a pursuit of justice is beginning along with renewed attention to a past that was previously overlooked. You've likely noticed Trump's stance on lies. What if I say he grew up on this? Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in New York to a local developer, Fred Trump, and his wife, Mary Ann McLeod Trump. It was along the paternal line that a family lie about their origins existed. Although this family branch has German roots dating back to the 30 Years' War in the early 17th century, Donald's grandfather and father concealed their true origins for some time. This was done for business reasons, as it wasn't beneficial during the World Wars in America, where they moved for a better life. This is the origin of the Scandinavian Trump's legend. Donald became a near-pathological liar, using it as his weapon.
Trump's team has such a strategy. A strategy they used successfully during elections and still follow now. It's called the "drown-inner of lies" strategy. That is, the information should be different, there should be a lot of it, it should be contradictory. And such a flood creates a very interesting effect. When people dive into this flood, they become disoriented. They no longer know where the truth is, what can be believed, what is not. They have a desire to follow a strong leader. And here he is, President Trump, a strong leader.
By the end of Trump's first term as U.S. president, fact-checkers at the Washington Post counted over 30,000 instances of him lying while in office. So on average, he lied 21 times a day, and all without any apology for the lie. So what do we have? A U.S. president who inherited dishonesty, business, and entrepreneurial skills from his family. Although the success of such traits is debatable. The Trump Company specialized in building social housing in New York, a profitable but corruption-prone sector funded by the city budget. It is worth mentioning the business style of Trump's father. Fred engaged in shady activities, renting equipment from himself, inflating expenses, and using cheap illegal migrant labor living on construction sites. Donald will later be criticized for the same methods. during the construction of Trump Tower in New York, a scandal involving the illegal exploitation of Polish workers almost ruined his business. Fred bought troubled properties during the Great Depression and became the king of social housing in the 1940s. He built cheaply, amassing millions and connections. Fred's life involved scandals, investigations, and trials. Fred Jr., the eldest son, was to inherit the businesses but couldn't handle the pressure and died from alcoholism. The father focused on the fourth child and Trump abstained from alcohol, learning from his brother. Donald Trump downplayed his father's role in his success, despite receiving a $14 million loan from Fred. Today, it is about $95 million, most of which was not returned. His Manhattan success was thanks to his father's money and connections. Especially thanks to the inherited part of the Trump empire, hundreds of millions, which, not his own business, is now worth billions. Donald also inherited more than business and big capital. This is about knowledge of shady schemes. The Trump Organization acted as an umbrella brand with many semi-independent companies under the Trump name. This structure allowed the company to rise from the ashes repeatedly by giving creditors shares and business stakes. Trump also revived his business through bank negotiations and declaring bankruptcy, which helped him keep some assets and control over his name. Shady schemes were involved in his personal life as well. Everyone remembers his passion for golf, and here Trump managed to combine pleasure with unethical practices. He buried his first wife, Ivana Trump, who died in 2022 on the grounds of one of his golf clubs. This allowed him to take advantage of a tax break on burial, since land in New Jersey designated as a cemetery is exempt from property, income, and sales taxes. Among Trump's successful projects are the Grand Hyatt Hotel, Trump Plaza, and Trump Tower. In 1988, Trump bought the Plaza Hotel, where 4 years later he met Chicago guest Kevin McAllister. He allowed filming of Home Alone 2 at the hotel only if he appeared on camera. By the way, this isn't the only film Trump will appear in. In the 1994 film The Little Rascals, he played a rich, arrogant dad. The director was a prophet. In Zoolander, he played himself at a fashion event. But for his role in Ghosts Can't Do It, he won a Golden Raspberry, the award for Worst Supporting Actor. Despite Raspberry, he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He received it not for acting but for producing the 2004 NBC reality show The Apprentice. The slogan, "You're fired," became a meme, and Trump became the symbol of American success.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Since then, society has been discussing Trump's orange skin color. Publications speculate that the unusual skin color is the result of excessive tanning. This is supposedly indicated by the lighter skin around Trump's eyes. Because he wears goggles while tanning. Makeup artist Chris Blevins, who has worked with many presidents since Jimmy Carter, suggested that Trump's yellow skin tone might be due to using self-tanner to maintain a look typical of sunny Florida residents. Let's return to the business side of Trump. His company built hundreds of buildings, and he pushed his name across many businesses. Trump created a new football league and owned the team. He organized boxing matches, including ones featuring Mike Tyson. He had dozens of golf clubs and his own airline. And the branded cycling race, Tour de Trump. Trump expanded into Florida too. He bought Mar-a-Lago and made it his residence and a luxury club. As a writer, he also managed to become famous. Before the early 90s bankruptcies and real estate crisis, Trump published his 1987 autobiography titled The Art of the Deal. At one time, the book became a bestseller and stayed in the top for 48 weeks. It brought Trump not only millions, but also a reputation as a business guru. In 1989, his own board game was released, called Trump, the Game. This Monopoly-like game received only negative reviews and was soon taken off the market. Near bankruptcy, Trump became a showman and started a new business. In 1996 he bought a share of the Miss Universe franchise. Since then, Trump has traveled widely, growing his network and wealth. Since then, rumors have spread that Trump has good ties with Russia. He reportedly got $14 million from Russian businessman Aris Agalarov, who promised a Moscow Trump Tower and a Putin meeting. However, further details remain unknown. It's time to recall Trump's political career. His first steps toward power were unsuccessful. Trump announced his presidential bid in 1999, forming the Reform Party to challenge the two-party system, but withdrew in 2000 due to internal conflicts. Between 2001 and 2009, Donald changed his political affiliation several times. He was a Republican, a reformist, and a Democrat. Eventually, he developed his own ideology, Trumpism, based on right-wing Republican populism. Trump's first presidency was controversial. His domestic policy was marked by chaos and populism. He cut taxes and restricted immigration, but this didn't solve structural problems. The economy suffered, especially due to the pandemic, whose effects the next president had to address. Trump scored some foreign policy wins, like the Abraham Accords. At the same time, the US withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord, the Iran nuclear deal, and the TPP. Trump initiated trade wars with China, the EU, and even allies, which also hurt the US economy. In 2018, the US moved its embassy to Jerusalem, escalating tensions in the Middle East. Notably, sanctions against Russia after Crimea's annexation were imposed by Congress, not Trump. However, he allowed lethal aid to Ukraine by lifting Obama-era restrictions. He faced 2 near impeachments in his first term. In 2019, Trump's reputation was hit by a scandal over pressuring Ukraine to get dirt on Hunter Biden, son of his rival Joe Biden. His political drama peaked on January 6, 2021, when his supporters stormed the Capitol after he claimed the election, won by Joe Biden, was unfair. Then he was impeached for the second time. But Trump's skill in rallying crowds is undeniable. Did you know there's a whole conspiracy theory that unites most of Trump's supporters? It's about QAnon, a conspiracy theory claiming Trump is secretly fighting satanic pedophiles in politics and entertainment. It all started with Pizzagate, a false story about a child abuse ring in a Washington pizzeria allegedly covered up by Democrats. In 2017, a mysterious Q appeared on an anonymous forum, hinting at access to secrets and calling Trump America's only hope. Despite no evidence, QAnon grew myths, followers, and even reached Congress. Currently, conspiracy theories focus on Trump's ties with Putin during his second term. The world expected stronger support for Ukraine, but instead got another show that unexpectedly boosted Ukraine's international standing.